Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. My name is Johanna, and in this video I will be talking about my thoughts on the newest September 2020 Happy Planner release. Okay, so for this introduction part of the video, I did want to talk about some things. Then I'll go into my personal perspective of how I view Happy Planner and Happy Planner releases. I'll go into the actual release, and then I'll go into my overall thoughts, and that will be all time-stamped in the description box as well as in the pinned comment. So if you want to just skip some of this, you can just go straight there. I did want to point that out to you guys, okay? So for this introduction, it will be probably a long video. There won't be a lot of screenshots just because I think it's just easy enough to go to happyplanner.com and just take a look at what their new releases are. And again, it's really about my thoughts on this new release. And I've done several of these videos before, so it's just more on the line of keeping with that. Although, thank you, Anna M, for suggesting this video. I hadn't really even thought about doing it, but with your suggestion, I actually looked to see what the new release was comprised of, and I definitely have some thoughts about that. So thank you, Anna. All right, so my perspective, and if I look down, it's because I wrote sort of an outline of what I wanted to talk about, but this isn't scripted, so we're just really going to just be talking about this together. But my perspective of how I approach not just Happy Planner, but just planning products in general is that I am a single working professional. I've been in my career for nearly 25 years. I have no kids. I am 48 years old. I live in Hawaii. I don't traditionally favor traditional layouts, so the dashboard, the horizontal, the vertical, the monthly, the academic, none of them really speak to me. So I don't generally buy planners, and I am definitely more of a decorative planner. Now, if you are new to this channel, I do at least one planner related video a week, and that's my Nietzsche Saturday video where I work in my skinny classic Happy Planner. But even that is not usually done in a traditional layout that Happy Planner put out this year. I've been more of a bullet journal style where every week the layout can be different, the coloring can be different. I like doing my own thing, and so that's the perspective that I'm coming at this towards. So all of my thoughts and opinions about Happy Planner and their release is based on that mindset. So if you are someone who is younger with kids, or younger with kids and married, or a working professional but younger married, any of the above, then your perspective on the release might be completely different. But I don't know that I ever talked about why I look at the planning items the way that I do, because I'm looking as a consumer who is someone who decorates but doesn't use the planners, but looks at them. I like the covers, I like the dashboards, I've bought planners, but I don't need them. I usually focus on all of the accessories by way of the stickers or the refill packs or the happy notes. I am a sucker for happy notes, and so that's really the perspective that I bring to this conversation regarding Happy Planner releases. It's distracting because the lighting's not that great. And I am gonna have to edit. I actually put on a little bit of lipstick, which just took me a minute to find because I think I've tossed out all of my makeup because you don't need them when you wear a mask. And so I see little things floating. Sorry, I was doing so well and then I got distracted, and that's sort of a theme around here. Okay, so now that you know my perspective on how I view the products, now let's get into the actual release. Now, for the September 2020 release, and I want to say that because depending on when you're watching this video, this might be 2 days out, this might be 2 years out. So I want you to know a time frame. What Happy Planner seems to be focusing on is 3 new lines, which is the minimalist, the budget, and the wellness. And that seems to be most of their focus, at least on their branding page when you go right into the Happy Planner. There are actually some other things that they do for this release, but for the most part, that's what I've noticed. And I do actually have thoughts on all of them, and we'll start with the minimalist. Now, the minimalist, when I saw that, I got a little bit excited before I actually went into anything, because if you've been here for a while, you know that I have been advocating, at least on this channel, as small as it is, for neutral, so that there isn't lots of color, so that there isn't much decoration. And this is more so for the planners, and I'll talk about that in a minute. But then when I looked at the sticker book, and again, that's usually my focus, I was quite disappointed. And I had to remind myself that minimalist and neutral are not the same thing. So when you look at the minimalist sticker book, it is very much that. It is decorative in that it has color, but it is not a lot of art, if any. I think it is probably one of the most functional sticker books that I've seen. So I believe the mindset of Happy Planner is you want to add color to your page, but you are focused on tasks only. You are not a decorative planner at all, I guess, is the vibe that they're looking for. Maybe they're thinking people are streamlining because of everything that's happened for 2020. I'm not sure. I don't know if there was such a call for it. And when I give you my overall thoughts at the end, I hope I remember to talk about the minimalist one specifically, because I do want to keep talking. Now, I didn't look at the Teresa Collins planner. I did look at a classic vertical, and if I can remember which one it was, I just remember thinking it might have actually been the minimalist one. That makes sense. It might have been the minimalist, I think, classic in a vertical, where it is very neutral. Now, it is not minimalist, or it is not neutral enough in that the monthly overview still has swatches of color. Every month there is still a themed color. If it were truly a neutral one, and again, I know it's not, but if it truly were neutral, it would be in either a soft black or a dark gray, so that the lines are not too dark, that it sort of recedes from the page, and what really pops is whatever you put on there, either by pens or highlighters or stickers or washi or whatever. That would be a truly neutral planner. The minimalist one is not, but it is devoid of, at least what I can tell in the little tiny thumbnails, is it is devoid of lots of art and quotes. I don't know that I've seen any, but again, what they show is very minimal, because they usually just show the dashboards and they show the layout, but they don't show you how it can change, because why would they? That's just more pictures they have to take. But I thought that one, if you are looking for something that is more neutral than you generally would get, then that might be a planner for you. Again, I look at planners more for the dashboards and out of curiosity, but it's not something that I'm ever going to purchase. From the budget line, it makes sense that they are putting it out towards the end of the year, as people are going to start looking at their budgeting for 2021 and closing out their budget for 2020. So I think they're assuming that you're just going to continue with that. They did put out a newer version of their budget planner and sticker book last year around this time, and I actually thought that was quite the improvement. The original one that they put out, 2016, 17, 18, I'm not sure when it came out, but that original one I did not find to be very user-friendly for the kind of budgeting that I do. They pre-populated a lot of fields. It seemed definitely more geared towards someone who didn't know anything about budgeting and really needed a lot of structure. There wasn't really a lot of room to expand, or you had to white out a lot of things because it just wasn't made for you. So I never really liked that planner. And the only sticker book that I actually regret buying is the budget one, that original one, because at the time I was still new to Happy Planner, trying to pick up as many things as I could from Amazon. I was starting a budgeting journey back in early 2019, and I thought it could be useful, but it isn't. And that's just because of my particular way of budgeting. It may be super useful to you. It might be one of your most loved. Again, I'm just talking about my own perspective and why I think things are hits and misses. For me, a lot of it was geared on reminding you what your payday was, or reminding you that a bill was due. And I never need to remember that. I always know what my paydays are because they're always the same, luckily or unluckily, depending on how you look at it. And I pay the majority of my bills on the 5th, and my housing and housing related things, and 2 credit cards on the 20th because of due dates. And so I don't need a sticker to remind me that it's due on the 7th or the 12th or the 15th, because they're all going to get either paid on one of those 2 days. There is no difference or any adjustments for me by the actual due date. I'm always early, so it's not a big concern. I keep track of all of the bills, both ones that I am still paying and those that I have paid off, in a list fashion, because I am a list maker, and that just works for me. So any of those pre-made budget planners and budget sticker books don't really work, but I did like that the updated version for 2019, and I'm assuming the same version for this year, is much more open-ended, where it gives you a little bit of structure by way of, different columns, expenses, income, savings, things like that, but not so rigid where it says car payment or electricity or insurance, because I remember those specifically because I don't pay any of those. And to me, that seems like, okay, well, on the onset, there's already 3 wasted lines that I'm never going to be able to use. And so I'm hoping that for the budget one, it can be useful to some of you. Although if you are truly either new at budgeting or looking to ramp things up, you may want to look at other sources of budget planners. Budget Mom, I hear, has a pretty decent one. If you go to your local Michael's, I think their line, Recollections, I think. Again, we don't have the stores here. Oh, I didn't mention that. Oh, because it's not written down. I live in Hawaii, so we don't have Michael's or Joann's or Hobby Lobby. And whenever they say Happy Planner is going to release to Walmart, they don't. Not here anyway. And so that also is part of my perspective on this. I'm so sorry. I did write it down, and I didn't read it. Anyway. So if you do have access to that, you may want to look at their budgeter or their budget planner, because it might be a lot cheaper, and you may realize quickly, yes, this is a style for me, or no, it isn't. But if you're not paying that much for the planner, it may not seem like that much of a waste. I think with the budget planner on Happy Planner, if you don't get any coupons, then it could run you between $25 and $30. And that's a lot of money to spend if ultimately you don't use it because it's not functional for you. The budget planner, and I'll talk about it now because I don't think I'll need to revisit it later, is sort of a miss for me. So if you need the budget planner, then by all means. And this is not saying, oh, you shouldn't buy these things. This is just why I'm not going to. But also, given the financial climate, I don't know that a lot of people will be looking to spend what could be about $50 if you're purchasing both the planner and the sticker book, again, if you get it at regular price. And I'll talk about pricing at the end of the video. I don't know that that is feasible. I think there are videos here on YouTube that you could check out if you are looking at different budgeting styles. You certainly could get inspiration from Pinterest, and it's easy when you get a pre-made planner and it has things on the page to sort of focus your thoughts, whether it's budgeting or wellness or whatever, because then you're just focusing on the task at hand. But I think if cost is a factor, then you may want to either visit your local dollar store or just use hopefully what you have by way of notebooks, Happy Notes, spiral bound, whatever, and keeping it in there, and that might be more conducive to your budget by way of actual finances, because your outlay is not as high as if you just purchase the pre-made stuff that may or may not work for you. The only other way I could think that this could work from a cost perspective is if you find some of the stuff from 2019. Now it may need that you need to redate things. I can't remember if they were dated planners or not, but if you do, but you can get it at a really good cost, the time that you spent to redate may be a better deal financially for you than if you had to spend full price or near full price. I think Happy Planner is running a sale, but Happy Planner sales are not as great as you could get on Joann's or Michael's. For the wellness sticker book, and I think there's a wellness planner. I didn't really look. Those things never really were interesting to me. Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me if it were a rehash of the wellness sticker book of 2018 and the digital detox sticker book of 2019, and they just put it all together and bundled up for wellness. Now I think the three topics they choose to focus on, the minimalist, the budget, and the wellness, are very, what's the word? I think they're very appropriate to the time. So unless you've been living under a rock, 2020 has been a doozy. And so you might have needed to scale back. You might have already scaled back because of cancel activities and just how things are going. So you may have already needed to do that. And so the minimalist sticker book and planner may help you just continue that vein. You might have been looking at budgeting, and now because of finances or employment status or whatever, you may really need to look at budgeting. And so that seems very appropriate for the time. It seems very timely. I knew there was a word. And for the wellness sticker book, that also seems very timely as well. I think with all of the chaos and all of the ups and downs and all of the unknowns, especially for people in a planner community, that can be even more chaotic than, I don't want to say regular people, but it seems like a lot of us live and die by our planners. And it isn't even so much that, okay, well, there's nothing to plan for now, because that's a thing, but also I can make plans for next week, and then on Monday that can be upended because, especially for work, things have changed and now I need to make new plans. And just continually having to shift your mind has been very anxiety ridden for me. So especially if you're in a planner community and you are used to having some kind of structure, not having that structure can be stressful. And so planning doesn't bring you the relief to that, because you can make the plans, but outside forces may need to change that. So I think the wellness may help with that, of being more mindful of your stress levels, of your anxiety levels, of, are you eating to cope? What are your frustration levels? I think a wellness is very timely in that. The execution of it, well, I'll tell you what my thoughts are at the end of the video. Now, something else I want to make a note of, and it's these stick figures. Okay. I'm just going to say it. I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of the stick figures, and I apologize profusely if you have the name, but it seems like a sticker book, or two sticker books, because there's two different ones. There's a craft one, and then there's another one. I think it's blue. It seems like, based on the artwork of the stick figures, it seems like two books full of Karens. And I know it's horrible if you have that name. I'm so sorry. But if you if you understand what that name means, especially in 2020, that's what those sticker books seem to embody. Now, maybe I'm way off. Maybe it's just the hairdo in the stickers. I don't know. But already the stick figure sticker books have been just a huge miss for me. With the nurse one, I think they had some ones coming out earlier this year. I think Wrong Wrong was a very... why am I such a loss for words today? It was very a fashion-driven doll sticker. And so if you wanted to add that element to your planner, I think Wrong Wrong was a step in a direction. Whether it was a step in a good direction, bad direction, I don't know. Some people have, extreme thoughts on either end of that. But it was definitely a step in a direction. It was definitely stickers that I got the feel that they were women. The squad girls, the squad life, those seem like teenagers. And so it was refreshing with the Wrong Wrong to have at least women represented. Now, none of the women look like me, none of them look like my age, but that's okay. They were at least definitely women. They weren't girls. I think some of the new reiterations or some of the new stickers, and by way of new, I mean late 2019, early 2020, I think they're going more towards the stylized, the empowered one. I mean, what? I like the sentiment, but the girls that are facing away from you, those are okay. You're just seeing a silhouette. And they actually look like a copy of a Wrong Wrong back, right? But it's not copyrighted because it's not the face. But the ones where it's the floating heads, what, did a 3-year-old draw that? And that's how it looks to me. And it's like, oh, okay, well, it's in the sticker book, so all right. But the art by way of that just seems to be going downhill. To me, a stick figure sticker book is just, but why? It's cute. It's cute. But it's not cute enough. It's in that weird zone where it is not pretty, it's not beautiful or gorgeous. I think of LOL girls as very gorgeous, very pretty. I think the Wrong Wrongs are very stylish. I think doll stickers you can find from Coco and Goldmine, or no, Goldmine and Coco. I think the ladies and gents from Planners Anonymous are phenomenally done, but Happy Planner just seems to be phoning it in. Now, you may love that, but I cannot envision an entire spread, much less an entire month, of just those stickers. I can't. Now, maybe if you treat them as an icon and you use a little sticker here and there along with other things, but that as a focus is just a mess for me. And I honestly, I don't know why they keep doing it, but people must like it because they do keep doing it. But even though that wasn't a highlight, that was one of the things I gravitated towards most, because I was like, oh, okay. Now, if you like the stick figures and if you think they're cute, I mean, this is not a dig on that. It's just, it's a miss for me. It is a huge miss for me, especially since Miss Maker is the one that got away from me, and I didn't want the newer version that came out 2019, where it was the accessory book. I wanted the original one. So seeing that they are capable of putting out a new sticker book, 30-page sticker book with all of that crafting stuff, but with stick figures that have Karen haircuts, that's a no. That's a no for me. All right, so overall thoughts. Honestly, just like the review that I did in early part of this year, I think it was February of this year, I think this is more of the same. But I think that's actually smart on Happy Planner's part. And the reason I say that is, so are they going to be grabbing the attention of all of us who have been in it Maybe, maybe not. I don't know. I'd love to know your thoughts below. Is it anything new? No. Even the stick figures, no. That's nothing new. They've taken some of their old stickers, added a stick figure to it, and now they're charging you $20 for a sticker book. Cool, whatever. But I think if you are trying to pare down, or if you are new, or if you are drowning under the weight of your old stuff, and I know this may sound weird, but it is a reminder of all that was, that may not be, and that you just don't really want to deal with it. Maybe having these things that are focused on timely topics might get people back into planning, because I know that there are some who have not stopped planning, and there are those who have not planned since March. And so maybe this will help reinvigorate or make you fall in love with the line again. I am quite fascinated, however, by the number of items that they have put out. So September 2019, by planner lines alone, different sizes, different styles, they had 89 new planners. September 2019 alone. And they came out with more planners in late October, November. But just in that release, nearly 100 planners. In this release, according to the website, they have 97 new items. So they are not coming out with a million different planners. They are being very intentional about the stuff that they are putting out into the market. And I think it's quite smart, because being a planner company in 2020 can probably be a little difficult. Now, you've got your hardcores who are going to just purchase regardless. It doesn't matter. They collect the items. They want to have the complete collections. They enjoy the rehashing, because it is slightly new. It's just not original. I think that's really what it is. It's not original. And they're going to buy it regardless. But I think for those who are either very intentional, or because they want to minimize their clutter or their products, or who are intentional because their financing doesn't allow them otherwise, I think this could be a good and bad thing. I mean, I think people like to have a lot of choices, but it can make it difficult when you're trying to whittle it down to the 1s and the 2s or the 5s or the 7s. But I think it can make it very easy where, okay, this is what I have to choose from, so let me pick the one that fits my needs the most. And I think also, and I don't know, because again, I don't have the stores here, but I think they may be going more towards selling products from their website. Now, for me, that doesn't make that much of a difference. I didn't buy from them before, or I bought once, but there was a special reason for that. But there may not be as much stock in Joann's or Michael's or Hobby Lobby. I've seen on Facebook, and the very rare occasions that I've been going lately, that people have been able to find things in Michael's and Hobby Lobby and Joann's at like 80-90% off. Zulily seemed to have quite a bit of the new releases quite quickly after the new release. And so I think with them being intentional with their products, they're really trying to minimize excess. I think that's good by way of resale. I think some of the issues in earlier releases where people would scoop it up in their local store and then sell it on eBay or Mercari or Etsy or wherever at a really inflated price. I think if it's harder to get and more expensive to get, you may not see that as much. Now, there are pros and cons to that. I mean, it does drive up the scarcity of the product, but if there are those who can't purchase from Happy Planner and can get a third party to sell it to them, it may make it even more difficult. I think I saw something on Instagram where the European distributor, whatever that word is not getting a contract or not getting the product so that they can sell to European customers. And so I think in the post, the person had said if they wanted a $30 planner just for shipping and accounting for the different tariffs and costs like that, it would cost them over $100 just for the one planner. And so, you know, them being intentional and more mindful of their product line and where they're releasing it and how they're releasing it can have the pros and can have the cons. Okay, so overall, I give this release a B or a B minus. Now, for some of you, that might be like, that is way too high. I've just listened to you for the last, 20 something minutes of you saying this is more the same and a rehash, and now you're giving it a B minus? Yes. And for some of you, you're like, oh, I don't even know what you're talking about. That is way too low. Now, the reason why I've given it that score is it is more of the same. There is nothing new. There is nothing noteworthy for me. And the most noteworthy thing was the Caron sticker books, and even that was not a good note for me. But what cannot be stressed enough is Happy Planner products in and of itself are very quality-driven products. I love Happy Notes because I love the quality of the paper. Planner paper for Happy Notes is slightly above copy paper quality, but I've seen enough of you who plan in just traditional planners to know that that is not an issue, that you are aware of the pens that you can use and you use them. So planner quality is there, paper quality is there, sticker quality is there. Whether they have new stuff or not, the quality of the stickers are there. Now, I've run into occasions where some of the cut lines are not that great, but I mean, that can happen for anyone. And when you're creating that much volume, I can see it happening. I don't expect a lot from even a $20 sticker book. I want the art to be there. I want the functionality to be there. I want it to be something that makes me happy, but I don't expect it to be 100% pristine. I just don't. Not with the volume that you're doing. And then I think the timeliness of the topics chosen to focus on, I think, is very appropriate. So whether or not I'm going to purchase anything, I'm going to tell you right now, there is absolutely nothing on there, even if it showed up at Zilily for 40% off, that I'm going to purchase. I don't need another rehash of a sticker book. If you want the wellness sticker book, I think you can take the Wellness of 2018 and the Digital Detox of 2019 and you'd have it. With the budget sticker book, you can use the one from last year. For the minimalist, basically, that is the Wellness sticker book to me of 2018, the Digital Detox of 2019, and Colorful Boxes, the original one, or actually any of the versions of Colorful Boxes that matches the colors of the Wellness. So the Wellness to me is absolutely a rehash. Now, there isn't a lot of screenshots, and that's by design. One, because I'm just not that interested in researching a lot. In the one that I did in February, there was so much product that I wanted to do right by the different lines. So I did one for planners, for stickers, accessories, and I found it interesting. At this point, they're not offering anything that I want, and I'm at a place in my own planner journey where I have more than I can use. I am literally drowning in product. So I don't know, again, even if Zulily does have a 40%, 60%, 80% sale, unless it is, what is it called? Unless it's Miss Maker, the original one. Hold on. Okay, I can't find it. It was a compilation sticker book that had some Faith, some Squad, some Dream Seeker, some mermaid things, and I can't find it because I know I still have some left. But if that one came out, again, I would totally purchase it. But otherwise, No. Now, I don't want this video to seem negative. I am not negative. I love Happy Planner. I am team Happy Planner. I find it very functional. I find it very affordable. And that's saying something because I'm usually spending a little bit more than people who can go into a store with a coupon and a double coupon or however you guys work it. But even that, I find it very affordable. But being a consumer who is spending their own money, I want to make sure that I'm making informed choices. And I'm not gonna lie, I've done spur of the moment. I've spent way too much for a sticker book. And have I regretted it? Sure, but I'm an adult, I make my own choices, I live with them. But I also don't want this to be, oh, well, you've got to have all the new things because it's all new and shiny and we deserve it. If you are a collector, or if it brings you happiness and joy and you have the space, because that's an issue for me, then by all means get it. But I think I'm coming from a perspective that doesn't really have a voice with Happy Planner. They're not marketing to me, and that's fine. I have made it work for me. But I also want to give you my honest thoughts. I think the quality is there. And so if you are going to purchase, you're going to get good quality products. Whether there's any originality, well, I haven't thought so for quite some time now, but that shouldn't dissuade you. But I'm hoping by this video, it just gives you another perspective than what you might typically see, where it's just, oh, and you gotta have this, and you gotta have this, and you gotta have that. No, you don't. Or you do. Make the choice, but hopefully you make the informed choice. I know it's a weird way to end a video, but I've gotten comments in the past on these videos that they are negative and I should use my platform to be a more positive voice. And honestly, I think I am. I think that I use my platform for those who are like me, who are sort of left of what Happy Planner I think envisions as their demographic. So I don't plan the way that people do. I don't approach planning the way that people do. And I'm not going to buy the things just because a planner company that I enjoy puts them out. And if I feel that they are a rehash of things they've done before, and you could certainly save your money and just use things you might already have on hand to sort of encapsulate that, then I'm going to tell you. And I don't know that that is, and I honestly, I don't believe that that is a negative thing. I think it is an honest thing, and I think it's a voice that you probably don't generally hear. All right, I'd love to know your thoughts below. We can certainly have some constructive criticism. I mean, I'm all for feedback, but is there anything of the new release that you are buying? And again, if you do have that name, I am so sorry. I know 2020 has just brought a lot of negative connotation to that. But I mean, that's the best way for me to describe those stick ladies in a very succinct way, considering this is quite a long video. Anna, thank you so much for this suggestion. I hope you guys are doing well. I hope you are staying safe. And as always, aloha.